First contract we're going to review, as is residential contract for sale and purchase. As is doesn't necessarily mean as is. It means people are going to buy it the way it is, but it's always negotiable. So right now, put in the seller, put in the buyer, and you need their complete names. You can find those in the tax records if you don't have them. Property description. Where are we? 123 Main Street. And it's located in Manatee County. We have to put those things in. And this, you can also autofill these import values. But if we go to property, tax ID, we're just going to grab one, put in the full legal description as clearly as you can, and let's make sure that that's loaded. So again, right now, this is a quick, how do we do this? So what else comes with the property? Personal property. We're going to say all existing appliances. If we don't use the word existing, people can change them. So all existing appliances. Next. Going on down through, right now, we're going to say there isn't any thing that's adding, contributory value. We don't want people to leave furniture and things and include those in a contract. Purchase price, 580,000, whatever it may be, 500,000, that's fine, Leah. Initial deposit to be held, whatever the buyer is willing to put down. Oftentimes it's 5%, sometimes it's $1,000. We don't want it to accompany an offer. We want it to be made within 3 days of acceptance. So don't leave blanks, fill it in. Who's the escrow agent? If the buyer picked, we can put in, somebody like Ann Johnson that we use all the time with Dunlap and Moran. And it would actually be Dunlap Moran, Ann Johnson, Esquire. But again, and it's crazy enough, we know all our addresses. It's 6111 Exchange Way. But anyway, you put 111, that's fine. And we put in their phone numbers, their fax numbers, their emails. If you've gotten emails from any of these attorneys, it's easy. You just go to their email. It's in their signature. Copy and paste it, guys. Additional escrow deposit to be made within zero. It's NA. It doesn't apply because we're not giving them anymore. So we're going to put zeros. Let's see. Financing. Now, this is important. If it was a cash deal, it's one thing. On this, we can also say it's an 80-20, so it's 80% finance. I don't know whether Leah brought up the one that's an auto fill or not. Other, zero. And my favorite for the next one down, balance to close, is balance. And some attorneys might balk at that and make us put a number in. That's fine. Otherwise, balance does cover it. Time for acceptance. Up to you. If the folks are out of town, you want to give them more time. Typically, I give them till next day. Or again, if they're harder to reach, give them 2 days. And yeah, you got to put in your time zone. So rolling right on. Closing shall occur on or before. This says on. You can also put or before. And pick your closing date. It's typically going to be 30 days out. If it's cash, could be 10 days. But right now, 30 days. Keep rolling. Check if property is subject to lease after closing. We're not doing a lease back. It's assignable, not assignable, all of this. Typically, we're looking for may not assign this contract. If they do select may assign but not be released, that would be if they're putting it into a trust or something of that area. And if you have that caveat, ask us. So next, financing, contingent on financing, contingent on within 30 days. We don't want to leave blanks. It's conventional because it's 80-20, and it's going to be a fixed rate. We do want to put a rate in here. Like right now, rates are jumping all over the place. People could get to where they can't afford it. But if they're willing to go up to 8% to buy the house, let's put 8% in there for a term of 30 years. Somebody might want 15 years, but we're going 30. Buyer will make application within 5 days. It gives you a default, but let's fill in the blanks so somebody can't change it and send it back to you with a seller sign off on it and hurt you because you missed it. Keep going. All right. We're just filling in blanks. Assumption, purchase money, mortgage note. Those are totally different issues up above. If your buyers are going down that rate or the sellers are allowing them to assume, we'll go down that trail later. Typically going to happen with a VA mortgage. Costs to be paid by buyer, they're all laid out. Seller, same thing. Oftentimes though, we will put in the seller's line, provide existing survey. If they've said they have one, we're going to ask them to provide it. If they don't, then we have to pay for it. Title, evidence, insurance, 15 days. It's just a default, guys. Keep going. Okay, check one. Who's picking and paying title? Right here, we're going to say that the buyer is because they're offering 500,000 on a $600,000 home, whatever it may be. Miami-Dade, it doesn't really apply on a lot of things here, but if there's a question about Miami-Dade regional provision codes, we'll deal with it at that point. If left blank, again, it's 200, but we're not selecting that one. Survey, at least 5 days prior to closing, buyer may at buyer's expense have the real property surveyed, which they should. The question mark is home warranty. Do we need a home warranty? Nah, not applicable. And or seller can provide it, buyer could buy their own. You don't, just because you do one doesn't mean they have to do it then. Special assessments. Sellers shall pay prior due. That's the one we want. And not in full. We're trying to have them do it up to that time. Keep going. Next blank. It's 20-day default. Go 20-day. It's a coastal barrier, but again, so it depends on where the property is located as to whether it even matters. Property inspection. If it's a 15-day. Let's try for 15 days. A lot of sellers will try and tighten us up. Keep rolling. And these are all standard, written by the Florida Bar Association. We aren't changing anything in those. An attorney can, we can't. So addenda, what are we going to put in here? That there's a homeowners association. Yep, we've got that addendum. If we don't think it's going to appraise, we might want to put an appraisal contingency in there because it's more broad stroke than the others. And you know what? We want the seller's disclosure. Keep rolling. Additional terms, if it's a lower end deal, do we need more money down? Do we need whatever 3% back from the seller? On this one, we're not going to go down the trail of that because it's an 80-20, and we are going to submit this thing and try and get it done, but we do need to put in the fact that we are the listing agent or buyer's agent on this one, and whoever the listing agent may be. I typically, if in the contract it says 3%, to the buyer's agent, I would put Leah Ellermitz 3%. It doesn't tie him into it, but it clarifies that that's what you're looking for because that's what the MLS said. And of course, you're going to provide a copy of that MLS, attach it to this listing, and have it initialed by your buyer so that the seller can't change anything after you're in contract.